Hello there.
Hello there, and welcome back to the Sky Guys podcast. We are wrapping up our journey through the Family Guy parody series of the Star Wars original trilogy, continuing today with Return of the Jedi's parody. It's a trap. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Phillips. Unfortunately, Pete Considori could not make it tonight. He's supervising the stormtroopers digging their own graves on the moon of Endor, but we have with us here our new co-pilot of the Millennium Falcon, Nick Fraietta is here. Nick, how are you?
Doing good. Excited that we wrapped up this trilogy. It was a fun watch for these last 3 weeks. Excited to talk about It's a Trap with you.
Yeah, it's a fun episode. Like, I think I enjoyed it more than the Empire parody.
I think I did as well.
Yeah, and it has a couple of infamous things, including the famous nodding gag. Have you seen this on YouTube? I'm sure it's come across if you've gone down the YouTube rabbit hole. That's from here.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I did fast forward through it because I've seen it 100 times. I don't need to see it again.
Yeah, I just love it. I let myself like watch it just for the fun. But I get the point. Like it's you've seen it once, you've seen it a million times.
Right.
All right. People want to subscribe us in the Sky Guys. You can do so Apple Podcasts, Google Play, TuneIn, Spotify, Amazon, all usual suspects. Simply search for the Sky Guys for your podcast platforms. You can find our episodes there. And just because we're done with the Family Guy series here, you guys stay tuned. We have a fun end of the year lined up. So make sure you're subscribed.
Yeah, all it takes is a click. So please, it helps us tremendously.
It absolutely does. And if people want to follow us on social media, how can they do that?
Follow at Sky Guys Podcast all over social media. And you can also email the pod at skyguyspod@gmail.com.
Yeah, let's also go to our social media comment of the week. This is from TikTok. We talked about Star Wars Visions recently, and news for thought on TikTok, I had to say, in terms of our discussion of the Star Wars, Visions getting sequels episodes. News for thought says some are excellent, a few are intriguing, some are made for little kids and are borderline nonsensical. Need to work on some backstory and obvious plot holes. What do you think about what News for Thought had to say?
I agree. I don't know what they're meant to like have backstory. I guess the sequel ones individually should, right? I
Yeah.
guess that's what we're talking about here. So yeah, I just want them to do away with the sequel ones, honestly, because it's too hard for us to remember exactly what we watched however many years ago.
Yeah, if this
But
was like a yearly thing, I'd be more in tune to the sequels. It's like, okay, like
yeah.
next year, like, but if we're waiting to like 2027 and we're calling back to like something from season one that was in 2021, like that's hard for me to keep up.
Yeah, this was 2023 in May. So we're 2.5 years between seasons. That's I'm not remembering that.
Yeah, that's a very important distinction here. So let's get to the Star Wars news here. I know we have some fun stuff to discuss.
Yeah, so on a recent episode of Pod of the Rebellion, which is the Star Wars Rebels podcast rewatch, which or a rewatch podcast of the show, which features several members of the main cast. Rebels EP Henry Gilroy revealed that Sabine was never meant to be a Jedi during the making of the show. Quote, "It was absolutely not the plan. We really felt not only did it step on Ezra's story, but it was a retread. Like we already did this. The idea of Sabine training as a Jedi when she is already a fantastic warrior on her own felt like overkill."
Very interesting commentary from Mr. Gilroy, considering what they did with Sabine and Ahsoka.
Yeah, yeah, it really is.
Yeah, any thoughts on like his? But I think he has the correct take at the time.
Oh, 100%. I mean, look, we got to see how Ahsoka plays out. Let's be fair to the show, Ahsoka. I enjoy it so far, so let's see how it plays out. And if it turns out well, even if it was the wrong call, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think so. What else we got?
In the same interview, Gilroy said that Rebels had half the budget of Clone Wars.
That's
Now,
interesting to me.
can we go into that a little bit? Does this mean overall? Does this mean per episode? Like, what does that mean?
I would assume just like overall that like they got half as much money, like I would assume per episode that Clone Wars did.
I mean, maybe that's why the lightsabers were so skinny.
Maybe they cut back on the animation a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah. I will say though, like I will give a shout out to the Pod of the Rebellion. I am a few episodes behind, but like it's a great listen. I mean, you got like Vanessa Marshall's on it, who's the voice of Hera. Like Taylor Gray, who voices Ezra, Tia Serkar, who voices Sabine. And I know they've had some of the other cast members stop by as well. I just listened to episode over the summer where Ashley Eckstein stopped by, was obviously the voice of Ahsoka. Great listen if you can't keep up with it.
I follow a lot of their clips on social media, so I hear it that way, but I never checked out the episodes live. But it does sound like a great podcast.
Yeah, and they do have a fact checker at the end. That's also fun.
Cool.
All right, what else we got?
Jon Favreau revealed in an interview with Empire Magazine that all of the potential season 4 of The Mandalorian is written and scripts are on his desk, confirming the story of The Mandalorian and Grogu is not from the original plans from season 4. He also indicated that the movie will tie into Ahsoka or tie into the story of Ahsoka season 2, but is accessible to audience members who haven't watched previous source material.
That's a very tightrope to thread. I do like two directions here. I think he said that Zeb is the connective material to Ahsoka season two further in that interview, so that's something to mention. But what do you think about this idea that like this is a not season four story, which is what we originally were led to believe?
Makes me wonder, what is it?
He said they. I remember he said in the conversation basically, it's like he had to go away from the serialized thing and do one big movie adventure, basically.
And also, like, I'm reading this quote, it's like, it's kind of hard to believe. Like, oh, it's going to tie into Ahsoka season 2, but you'll also get it if you've watched nothing. Like, how?
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see. I
I
look
think.
there.
I
There
think
are a few people I don't trust. I trust more than Favreau. So,
I think he means the movie's accessible. That you could just like walk into the theater and just know nothing about it and have a good time.
does he mean you'll understand what's happening?
I think you could. I think it's from what he says. He's like you could pick it up pretty easily.
Well, think about it. If you walked into Revenge of the Sith and you'd never seen Star Wars before, it it does still work.
Yeah, you got the story there. But like, what do
Yeah,
you
I
think?
guess.
Do you think we ever see this Mando 4 season that like he has the scripts on his desk?
Yeah, I do.
You think we get season four eventually?
Well, I think it depends on how the movie does, honestly. I think if the movie bombs completely out of control, then no. I think if the movie bombs regularly, which is like what I'm expecting, they're going to say we should keep this story going, but maybe movies isn't the right place. And then we get it. And if this movie does really well, I think they'll make another Mandalorian movie, but I don't expect that to happen. I think they're going to underperform, but not go nuts and bomb it. And they're going to keep the story going, but it's going to be on Disney Plus.
Yeah, and remember, like I
Because
think
we're out of shows. Like, they don't really have anything coming up.
I think it's a matter of like how long do they want to keep Pedro Pascal tied in here? Because like I think we've reached the point where he's not going to do the suit if it's not a movie. But like if you can still get him to do the VO, I think you can still do it.
Right.
Yeah. All right. What else we got?
The next thing. Interview, excuse me, in an interview with The Wrap, Leslie Headland, the creator of The Acolyte, said she wasn't surprised at the show's cancellation and revealed that Manny Jacinto's Chimere going to have a bigger role in season 2, with season 1 designed to showcase the downfall of Lee Jung Jae's Soul character. And we kind of talked about this before, where Chimere was going to have a bigger role in season 2, and I said the exact quote of, I said that I think in reality, Chimera was supposed to be the main character of the Acolyte, but not in season 1, in the future of the show. And of course, that show had gotten canceled, so I'm not surprised to hear that.
Yeah, I think my problem is more like I feel like she's pivoting hard in terms of like what she was trying to spell because all of season one, the marketing was on Amanda Stenberg's twins, May and Osha, and like now she's trying to spin like, oh no, it was about Saul the whole time. Like, no, it wasn't.
Yeah, I think she's just trying to spiral out of just trying to grab onto any last piece of hope that there is to get people to care about the show again or whatever. Like people, like I think she sees it clearly. Everyone's favorite character was Chimera. She's like, oh man, the rest of the show is about Chimera. I can't believe they canceled it.
Yeah,
You know
well,
what I mean?
give us the more compelling stuff early, then don't make us wait for it.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I've been saying for years. It's if you like, if you come on to a new show, you say we're going to be 6 seasons long, then give me some good stuff right away, or else no one's going to stick around to the end.
Yeah.
You're not going to get it because the network's going to cancel you.
Yep. All right, let's keep going.
Next piece, Lucasfilm has reportedly encouraged Sean Levy, the director of Star Wars Starfighter, not to use established characters in his movie, suggesting the audience could benefit from seeing something new. Sounds great.
Good lesson from Disney.
Sounds fantastic. That's some of the best Star Wars news we've had in a long time.
It means that somebody over there gets it.
Maybe they listened to us.
Maybe. Our cliff's going.
Last 88 Pictures, which produced the short in season two of Star Wars Visions, has been accused of stealing choreography for its short from a fan film made by Dune stunt double Lorenz Hideyoshi.
I have a full screen comparison here from Culture Crave that shows you some of the action here. So I'm going to share it on the YouTube version. Sky Guy's podcast on YouTube. You want to check this out. So you can see here on the tweet, we're going to pop it along here. So you can see if you're watching here, this is basically the same shots that they just ripped off of this fan film.
Yeah, I mean this is nearly identical.
Yeah. I
This is
mean,
nearly
come on.
identical.
Like, I mean, like, I don't know if it's a bad job on Lucasfilm by not like fact checking the studio here. You can't be doing this.
Is this season? Is this episode five?
This is season two, one of the episodes. Season two, episode
Got it,
16.
got it. Okay, got it. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
It's from 20, it's the 2023 drop of Vision.
Yeah, got it, got it, got it. Okay.
Yeah, so like this studio, safe to say this studio will never work with Lucasfilm again.
Yeah, it's less than ideal.
Yeah, it is less than ideal. Is that it for the news here?
Yes.
All right, so let's go on to It's a Trap, the third Star Wars parody here. It was released on, and something I didn't mention last week. The Empire parody and this parody were originally released on DVD, like as like extended hour-long cuts in December 2010. The episode later aired on Fox in May 22nd, 2011, the finale of season 9. And they cut it down from a 56-minute version to a 42-minute version. I remember I definitely must have seen the DVD version. There was stuff that I remembered was referenced in the DVD version that was not in the Hulu cut. So,
Very interesting.
general thoughts on this
That's very interesting. Thoughts on the episode or thoughts on what you just said?
episode first, I guess.
Um, I liked it. I right away I can just tell you I liked it more than I liked the Empire Strikes Back version, but I liked it less than I liked the New Hope version.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's in the middle.
yeah, it was funny. Maybe because it's a little more. There's a big difference in 4 years in terms of pop culture. Pop culture is a little more relevant in terms of some of the jokes. Um, it still suffers from that same thing though, where it's like it's just the story of Star Wars, and they just kind of like poke a little fun at some of the minor plot holes in Star Wars.
Yeah. I think the thing I noticed with it more, and like, I know they make a ton of cheek reference to it in the beginning where when the power's like, all right, fine, we got to do Jedi. It's like, it makes you wonder at this point, like, if they were less enthused about doing this than they were in the first one. It felt like there were points where, like, they were being more aggressive with their jokes towards the Star Wars than they were in the first two.
Yes, yeah, I like that they call out little like mini plot holes or stuff like that. But that's really my favorite part of it, just being a Star Wars fan, is when they find the little things that are like, if this was real, they would never do that.
Yeah.
Like how, for example, they said in that first A New Hope one, is like, yeah, there's a hole, and if you shoot a laser, the whole station blows up.
Yeah.
Like that makes no, like, if that was real, they'd be like, wait, what?
Yeah.
So I like that they poke those kind of jokes.
Yeah. Did you get the feeling though that like I think like McFarlane might have been over this a little bit by the time they got around to this one?
Maybe, maybe for sure. Yeah.
Because like you could tell like at least for like the joke writing style, they were sort of like, okay, I guess we might as well just finish it. Like, and like you could tell like they have in jokes in the episode. Like they're like reference back like, okay, like we're running out of characters here. Like what are we doing?
Yeah, they bring in characters from American Dad and the Cleveland Show, and which are other Seth MacFarlane shows to fill in some of the void for the missing characters, and yeah, I can think of three off the top of my head at least they brought in from other shows.
Yeah, there's at least four. I counted offhand.
I got Roger, I got Rylu,
Rallo.
Rallo. I got the bear who lives next to Cleveland, and I guess I'm missing one.
Klaus is Akbar.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like it's a reference that they make at the beginning of the episode too, when Roger shows up to greet Vader off the ship, and Stewie's like, what the fuck? We're out of our characters already?
Yeah, he goes, "Wait, it's you?" And that was pretty funny. He goes, "It's you? We're really out of our own characters." And that's actually the same scene where he says, "Yeah, so there's no more trench and hole." He goes, "But there's still a hole." He goes, "Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there's still a hole."
And there was one more cut character that was supposed to be from another show. I think was in the extended version, if I remember correctly, is that Stan Smith from American Dad was supposed to be Wedge Antilles, and they do shout Wedge out, but they don't show him. So
Oh, that would have been interesting.
yeah.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, it would have been cool, but we do have like in terms of stuff like from that popped out from this for you. Like what stood out here?
Well, one of the reasons I liked it more to begin with was I mentioned in our last episode that the reason that episode, I'm just going to call it Empire Strikes Back, didn't hit was because R2 and 3PO were not together.
Yeah,
And they're back together in this one. So that I think that their dynamic of it's really just Cleveland and Quagmire working off each other, and it works really well. So
yeah,
having them back together helps tremendously. Really, the whole gang is together in this one, as opposed to I guess in Empire, everyone's kind of split up
yeah.
for a little bit, where Luke's kind of off on his own with R2 and everyone else is together. But having everyone together kind of brings the comedy together, and that actually works.
Yeah, I think it does work pretty well, and I think the plot's a little more streamlined too, which helps. They're not doing as many extra things.
Yeah.
Whereas you have the Java segment, you have the going to Endor, and then
And
you
then you
have
split into two, but it's only two.
it's only two, and you're like half through the episode at that point, where it's easier
Yeah.
just you're not doing three separate storylines you're trying to keep track of.
Right. So I think that helped it tremendously. And that's not a knock on The Empire Strikes Back, of course. That's a knock on the Family Guy parody of The Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, I think they understood how to do that, and then I think they figured it out more for Jedi.
Yep, 100%. And the jokes in this, I think, hit a little bit better than they did in Empire. I feel like there weren't any really in Empire that I even remember. They
Yeah,
were just kind of like randomness that wasn't Star Wars. I feel like these were more Star Wars related in a way.
yeah,
So I enjoyed them.
yeah. A couple of things I think of interesting here in terms of the I think the fun like some funny jokes here. Also, I do think like they had a fun time with Han's blindness after he gets released from the carbonite here, and making fun of the fact that the fact that he manages to like shoot the Sarlacc, like we basically hit the bullseye here. The fact that he just basically shoots Mort 7 times before he actually connects.
Yeah, it's very funny because in the movie it's just like, wait, I thought you couldn't see. He's like, oh no, I can see.
Yeah.
So it's like little plot holes like that make it funny. Um,
I also like the plot hole reference. I think I'm sorry, you go if you had one, you can go for it.
no, go ahead. I didn't.
Yeah. I liked also when Obi-Wan Herbert shows up as the ghost and Luke asks him you know, said there was a I have a sister. Like, who is it? And like Luke and Herbert goes, who is the only other fucking woman in the galaxy?
Yeah, honestly, I can't think of other women.
No, it's a good plot hole.
Are there any other women in Star Wars up until that point? Because we meet Mon Mothma shortly after.
I
We
don't
don't-
think so.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other women, at least by name. I'm sure there is if you go into the the extended universe and whatnot. But
I mean, Baru dies,
yeah, right.
and then you get Leia basically for the is the
And
only
there are no, from my understanding, it could be incorrect with this. There are no females in the Empire and the original trilogy.
I do not think so.
So there are literally zero named on-screen women in all of A New Hope and Empire and the first half of Return of the Jedi, besides Leia and Baru is dead.
Yeah, there's a lot of white men
Yeah,
because they made the joke in Empire that Lando's the only black guy in the galaxy.
yeah,
Yeah, and I'm looking at like the cast list here. It's like with Jedi, you get basically like you only get like you get Mon Mothma there. You get Ula like Jabba's others like slave at the beginning of the movie. Like I
Mhm.
can't think of another like woman in there other than that.
Yeah. I guess there's some women in Jabba's palace, but that's about it.
Yeah. What jokes pop to you when you watch this? I think Make Wish Kid at the beginning was also good.
What was it in the beginning?
when the Emperor shows up and
Oh, the
Vader shows.
Make-A-Wish. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed they said something about how it was like something for the special edition and they have that CGI sock come on the screen and it just looked
Yeah,
completely out of place.
yeah, and the CGI sock lets Luke in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like the sock. You have Rush Limbaugh as
Rancor.
the Rancor. It's very Family Guy, keeping things like political. You have Peter with his pants down in carbonite still from the last one,
Yeah,
mooning them, if you will, and very funny.
yeah. I had a note, two more notes down here. I think like having Luke lose his cool over Stewie insulting Seth Green was fantastic.
Oh yeah. The Seth Green stuff I think makes these episodes, honestly. At least number two and three that I think make it.
Yeah, I think making the speeder bike chase a tandem bike chase was funny.
Very.
Yeah. And I also think in terms of they got some dark humor in it as well. It's like the bit where Peter just gets pissed off at the guards, basically has them like go outside, dig their own graves, and then like threatens the one guard like, okay, you're gonna like stab your friend, like cut his face off, put it on your face, go home to his family, and see how long they go for you. They recognize you're not him. Like that was like
Yeah.
just he's like, I'm just tired of the cutesy Ewoks.
Yeah, yeah. Um, what else was good? I mean, the problem I have with these episodes, like I've mentioned this before, is Stewie and Chris. It's really just Chris. Chris's comedy and Family Guy it's fine. Like I'm not saying I dislike Chris as a character,
Yeah,
but he's kind of like I think I mentioned this last week, like fourth or fifth on the list of who I want to see on the Family Guy screen.
yeah,
And when you make him kind of the main guy, it has to be the Chris comedy,
yeah,
and you have to mix him with some of the other characters, and like Vader being Stewie, you have to do so. You're basically essentially doing Chris and Stewie comedy, and it doesn't work.
yeah.
It's like some of the lowest. If I had to like rank the combinations in Family Guy, Stewie Chris is one of the last ones.
Yeah. I think it is a problem with that. I think especially like the end when like they have to go with a very odd right around to like Stewie like to like Luke taking Vader's helmet off and like they just have so Chris snaps his neck.
Right? Yeah, that was really funny though.
Yeah. That was and it caps well at the Force Ghost at the end of Force Ghost Stewie act going, what the hell, man? Like I was still alive.
Yeah, that was very funny. I like that part a lot.
Let's talk about the nodding gag for a second here, because like obviously this is the thing everybody remembers from this episode is the 2 minute montage of everybody nodding where they sneak in like a baseball pitcher, they have Jabba nodding, they have some other like random people nodding. Like what do you think of the nodding gag?
I mean, it's iconic. I think it's the most iconic part of this particular one. It might be the most iconic part of the Family Guy Star Wars parodies in
Yeah,
general.
yeah.
Um, it's iconic. It's nothing else I can say really.
Yeah, I'm trying to look up how many views it has on YouTube right now because like it's incredible and to cap it off with the archival footage from Caddyshack was great.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Of Judge Smalls going, well, we're waiting.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm looking here. There's a couple different versions of this. Like one has 235,000 views on YouTube, one has 778,000 views. The whole Sarlacc fight has 9.3 million views on YouTube.
yeah. It's an iconic scene.
It's an iconic scene. A couple other things I will add here. One other joke I want to catch a note of that I think Peter plays a great plot hole in the movie. When they show up at the Ewok village and Leia comes running out of the chamber of the hut, and he sees her. He's like, "Did they braid your hair?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "So let me get this straight. Like, the Ewoks use sticks and barely understand English, but they know the finer arts of cosmetology."
Yeah, it's funny. It
Yeah,
is funny. It's a good plot hole.
yeah,
Maybe they do. Who knows? But
they do here. And in terms of the new casting, I think we also need to reference back that they got Carrie Fisher in this as Mon Mothma.
yes, I feel like that's kind of be weird for her, huh?
Yeah,
That's probably a weird day for her when she was recording that. I mean, she only had like two or three lines.
I think that's a good pull. I know she was on the show at the time, like
Yeah,
doing the voice of Angela, who was Peter's boss, but very like very meta to have her voicing Mon Mothma while the Lois Leia connections going on over there.
yeah, yeah. I wonder if she watched the episodes and what she thought of them.
Yeah. It's funny too how Peter points out, oh look, another woman when she walks in, and then like Lois can't stand her.
Right. That
Yeah.
was funny.
Yeah. And they snuck a good many Boffins joke into her scene as well. Like when the one guy says like, oh, like you know what's funny? Boffins. And she goes, many Boffins died as info. And the other pilot's like, nice job, idiot.
Right. Yeah. I wonder if we'll get Rogue too.
I wonder if we will, but very cool like to see that Carrie Fisher was signed up for this.
Oh yeah, 100%. I would love to find. I wish we can. Yeah, I wish there was a way to find out what she thought of these.
Yeah. That is for sure. Like any other plot stuff you want to get to with this?
No.
Okay. Couple of things to wrap up here. We I think I agree with the order in terms of one, two, like one, three, two is the order of like quality of these.
Yeah, I think that's the order.
And I think like one was clearly like they had the most fun with it, where they put like so much energy into it. I think like two and three were just like Fox like kind of doing money grabs. Like, oh, this works so well, we need to do the other two.
Yeah, and people wanted to see them. I was excited to see them, but then again, I remember watching them when they were new. And the first one I was so excited for you couldn't believe it because it was like, oh my God, I love Family Guy, I love Star Wars. And then, oh, there's a second one? Oh, a third one? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Who is the MVP of this week?
The MVP, I think, was Stewie again, and I gave it to him in Empire as well. A lot of things he does make me laugh in this one. When he throws a lightsaber, and he's like, "That whole thing just fell. That whole thing." I love that. And him. I know it's really just Seth MacFarlane and the writing, but him doing the Seth Green stuff. And he's like, all those small paychecks must add up. Like all those little lines that he has. I think he was really good.
Yeah, I think that was a good spot there in terms of MVP candidate. I do think like I'm gonna give a shot to Peter again because I think like he does a good job giving pointing out all the plot holes in the movie, which I think is great. And his like anger, taking his anger on the guards was fantastic.
Yes,
All right, who was the worst character this week?
I think it was Brian or Chewie, I should say.
Yeah,
He didn't do anything, and he came in with like two jokes, and it was so stupid. So give me, I don't know. Are you gonna write down Chewie or Brian? I don't know what we were calling it.
I don't know because like for me, it's like there were a lot who didn't pop very much. I will say like the Mort Lando stuff did not land as well for me this week as it did last week. They didn't know what to do with him. It was also jarring when you had the like billboard of like the Meet the Calrissian sitcom with the actual like Billy D cartoonified version there when you know it's not Mort.
Mhm.
All right, so they make the joke at the end also like that we're gonna have the Cleveland show do the prequels. Like, would you want to see them come back to something like this and like do the prequels or the sequels with like at this point in the timeline?
I mean, yeah, just because I want to see it. Like, I'm not gonna say no. I don't want to see it, but I'm nowhere near as excited as I would be when it originally came out. Um, Family Guy's changed a lot in the last 15 years. Um, Obviously, the prequels are a completely different thing. Um, Maybe we would do some sort of thing where we think who we can discuss who would play who, and that was the case. But
We could do a thought exercise on that real quick.
yeah, um,
I think you stick with Stewie as Anakin to keep the Vader connection going between the two.
but you need to have him have a love in Padme, which is why it's confusing. Which is why I think it may have to be Peter.
Yeah. You think Pete like the problem is though episode one, he's like a child.
Yeah, I think you just make him like they've shown flashbacks of Peter being a kid. I think you just do that for a whole episode.
Then you get Peter and Lois is Padme
That's why I think you have to.
and Chris is Obi-Wan or something like that.
Brian would be Obi-Wan, I guess.
Well, then who's Qui-Gon dying in the first one?
It could be any of his friends. It could be Joe. It could be Quagmire.
Because the question you run into with this is like, do you carry over the characters who are in both? Like, do you
Yeah, I don't think you do because I think the only reason the characters were who they were is because Peter and Lois had to be Han and Leia, and everybody else just fit in where they fit. Where in this one, I feel like they kind of have to be Anakin and Padme because of the love.
yeah. And,
Unless you're gonna make it Joe and Bonnie, and that doesn't make any sense. They're not even main characters, you know?
and like I think try to think of who else you could pop in here in terms of like I mean you could the Peter Anakin thing could work because you have his mother in there and his mother dies in the second one.
Hmm. Yeah,
And you can roll Carter over as Palpatine in both.
yeah. I just wonder. I'm just trying to think like who would Chris be? Who would Brian be? And what do you do with like the neighbors? I don't really know.
I think Brian has to be Obi-Wan.
I mean, the writing's on the wall that you can just make Cleveland Mace Windu.
Yeah, that's an obvious one. And then
And
Chris is you got to figure out where you got to fit him.
yeah, I think Chris is the odd man out here.
Yeah. Do you have Stewie be Yoda?
He could.
Yeah.
He could.
And then you could have
Interesting. It doesn't work nearly as well as the original trilogy.
no. That's why I think like it would be interesting. And they have more characters to play with, but like it's tough because you can roll some people back into different roles. Like it's like you want to keep like the main five involved and have Meg just be the joke character every week, but like
Right.
Chris is nowhere to be found in like our little fan casting.
You'd have to make Chris Qui-Gon. That doesn't really make sense.
It's like you almost like you make Qui-Gon Mr. Weed and just kill him off.
I don't think Mr. Weed's been around, and I wonder if he's ever come back to Family Guy.
I don't think he has.
I'm gonna look real quick before we wrap this episode up. I'm gonna look at Mr. Weed's episodes that he was in and see if he was in any of them after he passed. I'm gonna take a look real quick. He was in one episode afterwards. He was in season 18, episode 17, which is called Coma Guy. Where Peter goes into a coma, and it might be like a dream where he sees Mr. Weed.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that there's options and like the other Qui-Gon option you could look at here, you could do Herbert again, just have Herbert die again.
Yeah, it also makes me wonder, like, if you're doing this nowadays, I haven't seen Family Guy really nearly as much. I don't think Herbert's really in it as much.
I mean, I haven't. I mean, according to like the try to look at the character chart. I mean, he's been in episodes recently. It's not like he's not around.
Okay. Right.
It's
Yeah, I
like,
don't think they've really introduced new characters that much, except for there's a new Mayor West,
yeah, it's his brother.
and there's a new bartender, Jerome.
Yeah, that's why I said like the new bartender is a black guy, so like it would have made it easier to have him be Lando if you got on the if this has came out a few years later.
Yeah, and the last one was another new character. That Peter got a new boss. Forgot his name.
Yeah, there's like a like I've seen clips of this. It's like a two-person like thing where it's like I think it's like a black guy and like a white woman like sort of like working together.
Yeah, no, it's a black guy named Preston. Preston Lloyd is his boss. Is the boss who took over pretty much for Angela. He's been in a lot of episodes.
Yeah. Yeah, Peter Macon voices him like as like Bert and Sheila like were a couple like that was like the white man black woman combo. I was thinking it was Bryan Cranston and Niecy Nash. They were in between Angela and Preston.
Bryan Cranston was in the show as his boss.
He was a recurring character for a couple of seasons.
I gotta look at this guy.
Yeah,
I gotta look at a picture of him so I can see remember if I remember his face or not.
because I think you could do it. And it's like I'm looking.
I barely remember this.
Yeah, it's
It
like
must have been the seasons that I was not watching.
yeah, and fun. Let's know that James Woods not been on the show in like years.
Yeah, and you'd have to. I know they did this in the other in the last one, the one that we're talking about today at the trap, but you'd really have to dig into American Dad and Cleveland show this time
Yeah.
because there are more characters in the prequels. There just are.
Yeah, you would have. I mean, they've added more, but like you still need more help to like get through if you actually do it.
Yeah, you'd
There's
have
probably
to use Stan. There'd be no way around it. You'd have to use all of
Cleveland's family.
Cleveland's family and neighbors
Yeah,
from the Cleveland show.
we got Tim the Bear in this one.
We got Tim the Bear in this one, but he has the two other neighbors. I forget their names, but
It's like one like a hick or something.
one's like a hick and one is like a short guy who thinks he's really cool. I don't remember his name, but you'd have to use everybody.
Yeah, I think you could make this happen, and like it would be, and like the fact there's more women also means like you might get like Bonnie and like some of the
Yeah,
other.
or Donna or whoever.
Yeah, it's an interesting conversation, but I do think like this is a good place to leave it. It's a fun exercise.
It was. I enjoyed doing this. I enjoyed rewatching. Gotta say though, after the rewatch, I haven't seen these in years. I felt stronger about Blue Harvest, which was the first one.
Yes.
Thought it was even better than I remember, and I felt much worse about the other two.
Yeah, it's like I said, but it tells us though, like we remembered Blue Harvest, a lot of stuff from it before we watched it. Like the fact we barely remember anything from the other two, I think tells us what we should know.
Yep, absolutely.
Do you want to do the Robot Chicken at some point?
How do I watch it?
Have you seen them ever?
No, how do I like? Where would I go to see them?
We could effort this off the air, but like that's something we could discuss maybe a future like parody month. We just go through the Robot Chicken. I think there's three of those too.
Oh, I would watch them. I just want to know, what platform I need. Hopefully, I have it.
Yeah, we can discuss it off the air. But that's it for this week. We'll be back next week. We're gonna do a fun new idea. Pete's and pitching this one here. Star Wars State of the Union annual tradition we're going to be starting here with this year. So Pete has some details he's cooking up on this one. So I'm intrigued to see what he comes up with.
Now I'm excited too. Excited to see what Pete brings to the table.
Yeah, this is really what this was this Family Guy like trilogy was Nick's idea. Pete's been pounding the table for cities. We'll see what Pete has on the board.
I'm excited.
All right. Once again, thanks for hopping on here. People want to follow us on social media. How can I do that?
You can follow at Sky Guys Podcast all over social media or at skyguyspod@gmail.com if you want to email the pod.
Yeah, you can also follow me on social media, mphillips331. It's MPHILIPS331. This is Gorman just on the Suffering Pie. We're going to some baseball offseason talk. We're going to do some Yankee offseason think tank here. So, any big wishes for the Yankees for you this offseason?
Get another hitter.
You want Kyle Tucker?
Oh yeah, I mean, I don't know how they'll be able to swing it, but of course I want him.
Well, I mean, considering how Steinbrenner today is like on day of recording is trying to claim that he loses money for like on the Yankees. Like, I don't know if that's happening.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. Well, you never know. Sometimes I feel like he gets pissed and then he just shells out some money, so maybe he'll get pissed.
Yeah. We'll see what happens there, but we'll be back next week to talk about the Star Wars State of the Union. Star Wars heading in the right direction or the wrong direction. We'll talk about that then. Until then, may the Force be with you.